Hi everyone and welcome to Rescue Ops, the base game. I have prepared a nice small scenario here for us to rescue some people. What's included in the base game? Basically everything you can see except for the trees over here, but I just thought, yeah, makes a nice little town. So the house is included, the vehicles are included, the markers are included, as you can see, our rescue vehicles, and also the people in the rescue vehicles, all the markers we need, everything except for 1d8. So you need 1d8, but I've already released several sets out there for D&D and role-playing games, so you can just print one of those or just buy d8. So it's not a big deal. Yeah, so basically everything can be printed and this game is quite open in what you need, what you should have, what you want. I would rather call it a bit of sandbox, but with a very clear rule set. So basically, what can we do here? We can extinguish fires, we can rescue people from cars, we can rescue people who are injured or like here after an accident. And I already have several expansions planned that include more stuff like hazmats, dangerous persons, or even more technical rescue. So how does the game work? Well, basically, as you can see here, we have different threat tokens. And this one here is patients. So we have different categories, like a slightly injured person up to a very critical person. And we can just, depending on what scenario we want to play, place them on our battlefield. The same with fire markers and trapped person markers. And as you can see, what I created here, it's a car crash. So the black car hit the gray one. In the black car, we have one person trapped, but of the green level, so it's not that bad. In the gray car, we have one person trapped of the yellow level, so it's already a bit worse. And the car started to burn, so we need to extinguish this as fast as possible. And also we have another person here that was injured. So how does the game work? Well, basically you see these little diamond symbols here, and we have 5, 8, 10, 11 of them. So we have a pool of 11 support markers here that we can now spend to call in rescue. And in the rule set, we have all the available rescue vehicles. We have 3 types of fire trucks. We have 3 types of medical rescue, each with a specialized role here on the battlefield. And yeah, I would say let's start the first round. Let's start discussing what we want to have. So the most interesting at the moment is the fire, because as long as we have fire here, everything in 3-inch is heavily endangered and we cannot work there. So we need to take care of this fire immediately. And then the next big thing is we need to get the people out of the vehicles, because otherwise we cannot treat them. So I would say the most important thing would be to make sure we extinguish this fire and then rescue the trapped people inside. And my proposal here would be that we probably take a normal fire engine, it's this one, and the rescue truck. So the fire engine has 4 firefighters, 2 with respirators and 2 normal ones, and the rescue vehicle has 2 firefighter with rescue shears. So we'll call in these 2. They cost a total of 4 points. So we already just put aside 4 support tokens, and we can place our vehicles where we want. And I would say we place them down here. So the deployment edge is over there. You can't see it right now on video, but I just placed both trucks at the end of that road. We still have 7 tokens left. We know we have a rather more critical injured person and 2 normal ones. So my suggestion would be we should call in an ambulance. That costs 2. Let's take an ambulance. I would say we need at least 2 transport vehicles that cost 1 marker each. Let's take these 2. And then we have still 3 tokens left. And for those 3 tokens, we can either call in another fire engine to really make sure this fire is put out, or we can already call in an emergency doctor. And I would suggest we take the doctor. So let's spend 3 tokens for emergency doctor vehicle. That's this one. And I will place those vehicles on the left, on the end of the left road, so that they can drive around here and come from this side, so the firefighters can work here and the ambulance will work from here. So in each of our vehicles we have the relevant people inside. So I would say let's start round 1. The most important thing, the extinguishing of the fire. So we will start with the first activations, and the first activation is for the driver of our big fire truck. Every model has 2 activations, and the driver here will use all 2 activations to drive just towards the fire here. So we'll have like the first 12-inch moves it here, another 12-inch moves the vehicle here, and that was our driver, still inside, activated. We have 3 more models inside, these 3, and I would say all of these vehicles should, persons should start extinguishing the fire. To extinguish a fire, the firefighter model has to be within 2 inch of something. So here we have 2 inch. So they will get out of the vehicle, they will move 6 inch over here, and they will start extinguishing the fire. So what we have here is the threat tokens. As soon as we are within 6 inch of a threat marker, it is flipped over. So now we are within 6 inch of all markers except for the one here. So we flip them over. Let's start with a fire. Since it's one object and not a room with or a house with multiple rooms, we just take the highest flame. So that's a yellow. That's a -2 fire, and we'll just place it here. So you see the base has small numbers on them and the size of the flame varies. So this is a -4 fire, and this is a -1, for example. So that was the first threat token. The next one is the trapped person inside here. Okay, what we can see is it's not 1 trapped person, it's 2. And you see the little diamond, so we receive an additional support token. So we need 2 of the yellow level. I'll just place them here. And they are both trapped at the yellow level. So for both of them, we need to put in this yellow trapped marker. So this means we need to make sure we get them out really fast. All right, so that was the activation for these 3 firefighters. They will now extinguish the fire, but everything, treating patients, rescuing them, will be done afterwards in the end phase. So we'll now continue doing the other vehicles. We have our rescue vehicle here, and the driver of the rescue vehicle will just park here to make room for maybe another fighter vehicle. So that's the driver, activated. You don't really need to put all the activated tokens if you think you're fine with it. And the other one will move So with a normal model, you can move 6" per move, and driving a vehicle is 12" per move. And yeah, that's our firefighter part. The ambulance part, they will have a slightly longer way, so they will just drive. Let's probably start with the emergency doctor here. 12", then the ambulance drives over here, and we have the smaller transport vehicles driving over there. That's 24" of movement already. They are done. Now it's time to roll the dice. So in the end phase, we start with the patients, and you can see we do not take care of any patient yet. So they all get an untreated marker, and that's it. And then the fire. And for the fire, we have 3 firefighters. Firefighters get a +4 bonus. So only the firefighters that can extinguish, this one can only rescue. So +4 bonus. And for every extra model, it's another +1. So we have here a +6 bonus, and this flame is a -2. So we have a +4 bonus on our die roll. And we have 5 +4 = 9. So that's 9. This fire is extinguished. So it becomes 1 level less bad. If we now extinguish it again, it will just be gone, and we can start rescuing the people there. All right, that was already this round. At the end of the round, we get 1 additional support token. So if we need more forces, we just probably need to wait a bit more. But I think for the moment it's okay. Just make sure our rescue firefighter is outside the 3" range of fire. So this model will not be turned into a patient. So that was this round. Next round, the firefighters will continue extinguishing. This one here will join them. So we have to get a bit closer here. And so all 4 of them can extinguish. This will be a +7 bonus, so quite a lot. Yeah, I should remove all the activated before I continue doing stuff. But I think playing without the activated should be fine here. So all 4 will extinguish there. This one will move around here and make sure to stay outside of the 3" range of that fire, and we'll start rescuing that patient. We now are here inside the 6", so we can flip this over, and oh no, it's a yellow one and not a green one. So it's a yellow patient trapped at the green level, and we receive another support token. So basically what we have here is 6 different variants of each token, and they are from better to worse. So like for the yellow ones, you can have anything between 1 patient, 2 yellow ones, or even a red one, single red one, or a green one. So you don't really know what's happening there. So it's quite good to try to be quite fast revealing all the tokens to really know who is critically injured or not. Our other driver here will also get out, still outside the 3". All right, and then we have our ambulance vehicles over there. Let's start with the doctor vehicle. 12" move. The ambulance will also do a 12" move, and the other 2 will follow. So we are now within 12" of here, and since a normal model can do 6" movement per round, we can, from the emergency doctor vehicle, this is the driver, have the doctor get out and move to this patient, still making sure we're outside the 3". and then we can flip over this. It's a green patient, so not too bad. But we have one untreated token, and this will be immediately revealed now. So we just roll a die for every untreated token. We don't add the bonus yet because this untreated token is basically what happened last round. So we have a 1. That's bad. Because if the result is 1, or here we have a patient, that's already a -1, a green patient. So that's a 0, which means this patient will get worse. And so we're at yellow and get a critical marker. So my plan is to have the same basis for patients as for the fires here, but I didn't manage to paint every model here. See, for the emergency doctor, I already have it with a nice +4 base. For the firefighters, we don't need it because every one of them has a +4 bonus. So unfortunately, my camera just stopped. So I didn't realize it the first seconds. So what happened, I rolled for the fire with a +7 bonus. It's extinguished. The patients are untreated, and I rolled here with a +3 bonus, but didn't manage to rescue that person. And yeah, that's it for this round. We get another support token, and my suggestion would be to call in another ambulance, costing 2 tokens. I'll just place it here at the end of this road so it can drive along here and help the other patients here. So, yeah, what we'll do next? I'd say next round, most important thing is to rescue the people from here. So our rescue firefighter will do that, and 3 of them here will help, which will give a +1 bonus. So normal firefighters can help, but you need at least 1 rescue firefighter. And this one will just run over here and give him a bonus. That's it already for the firefighters. The doctor cannot do anything yet because no other patients are rescued there. So I'd say let's just move the vehicles forward and just move them here in a nice parking pattern. So this means every driver did 1 action and everyone can now get out. So the driver from here runs out from our ambulance. We can do the same thing, but let's move these 2 also to this patient. And from the ones back here, the drivers will just move the 6-inch, and the other from inside will move the 12-inch over here to be ready as soon as we rescue patients here. And that's it already for this round. So it's again time for rolling dice. All the untreated patients get another untreated token, and for this patient we have bonus +4, 5, 6, 7, -2 because it's yellow, so a +5 bonus, and that's a 2 + 5 = 7. Nothing happens, doesn't get worse, doesn't get better. Then for rescuing, let's start here. That's a -1 and a +4, +5 bonus. So it's a +4 and it's 8 rescued. And here we can only roll for 1 of them. So let's start. We have a +4, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, -2. So that's a +5 bonus. 2 + 5, nothing happens. That's too bad. But for next round, we have these 2 to help here. Let's probably just place the tokens a bit on the outside so we don't get distracted too much and can move around here. And that's it. next round. Oh, you know what I forgot? To use the ambulance we called in. But yeah, I forgot that, so I'll do it in this round now. So next round, let's move the ambulance over here. So that's 12 inch here. That was the driver. And the other one is just getting out. So these are not on the battlefield at the moment. They're still trapped inside that car. But our most important mission now would be to rescue them out. So let's move that one here. So we have these three working on one, these three working on the other. We have our doctor running over here. Let's probably keep it this way. These two run over here. And I think that one, yeah, can also reach the patient here. So that's it for this round. We can roll again. That patient has a +3, because that's the highest one right now, 4, 5, 6 bonus, and a -2, so it's a +4. 6. Nothing happens. Quite bad dice rolls now. Here we have an emergency doctor with +4 and 3 other ones, so it's a +7, -2 because it's a yellow patient. And that's a great roll. Yeah, so as you can see, what I forgot is to do these untreated tokens that I should have done as soon as the doctor reached the patient. So let's just do it now. First roll was a 7, nothing happens. We have a -2 bonus. Second roll is a 5, -2, 3, still fine. And the last untreated token is a 1. So this one is turned into a red patient, receiving a critical marker. And now we're at the treating. We have a +7 and a -3, so it's a +4 bonus. We have an 8. So we immediately stabilize this patient by 1 level. All right. And that was the patients. Now we try to rescue them. They're both yellow at -2. But we have 4, 5, 6 bonus each, so it's a +4 bonus for the first one. Yeah, that's nice. Reduced by 1. And a +4 bonus for the second one. That's a 8. Not enough. So we need 9. And they are not treated, so we need another untreated token. We get another support token. And I'm thinking about calling in another emergency doctor right now, because we have 2 patients still trapped in the vehicle here. And I think they can get really, really critical. And it might still take some time until we rescue all of them. So I would call in another emergency doctor. And I would say, let's call in the emergency doctor also from here. And that's it. Next round. So I would say we keep it as it is. This one gets out. And yeah, with our 12-inch movement, runs over here. So we have a full +8 bonus on that patient. We have a +6 bonus on that. And we have a +6 bonus here to rescue. So that stays that way. Emergency doctor will park over here. That's 2 actions from the driver. And the doctor itself will run over here and be ready for the next patient, but cannot help anything at the moment. Then again, let's roll for the patients. Here we have a +6 -2 bonus, so it's a +4. That's bad. This patient turns red and gets another critical marker. And what happens now with 2 critical markers? This one cannot become green anymore. So even if we stabilize them now, they will stay at yellow and need an ambulance and cannot be transported in one of the smaller transport vehicles. For the other patient here, you can't fully see it, but we have 5 models here with a +8 bonus and a -2 of yellow, so it's a +6. Yeah, becomes a green one, which is nice. All right, then the rescuing, we have a -1, +6, so it's a +5 bonus. Rescued. So this patient is placed here with 4 untreated markers. All right, 5 now, because it took some time until the rescue. Then we have here +6 -2, so it's a +4 bonus. It's good, so it's only trapped at -1, but another critical marker. We get another support token, and I would say in the moment we have enough personnel here, but might be that we need some more soon if we don't manage to rescue them all. So what we'll do now here, these two will help rescuing, while this model will just move not to that vehicle over here, because we don't need it. Maximum bonus is the same as the maximum bonus we have, so +4 can only get another +4 from additional helpers. I would say the doctor runs over here, which means we will roll 5 times, starting with a -2 patient, so it's a -2 now. Okay, nothing happens for the first token. Still nothing happens for the second token. 6 -2 is 4, nothing happens. And we have still 2 tokens, it's a 2. -2 means patient turns red and receives another critical marker. That's one. And then we have our last token. That's a 6, -3 is 3. That's fine. Okay, so we now have 1 red, another red patient, a green one, and a trapped one at yellow with at least 5 untreated markers. Yeah, so we really need to hurry up now. We get another support token, and then it's time for the next round. All right, next round. So what should we do? I would say we need the emergency doctor over there. We can transport this patient. So the first thing we'll do is take this model here and move over to the ambulance with 1 movement. And with the second action, no, that's a free action. So we just get our stretcher from the vehicle and we move 6 inch over here. So that's the stretcher where we load this patient. The doctor here will run over there to that one, so we have a +7 bonus. This one will run here, so we already have +5. And maybe we should switch this one over there, this one over there. So we have +6, +6, and we can move these 2 models also over here. So we have here a +4 bonus, but that's a green one with just 1 critical marker. We have a red one with a +7, and we have another red one with a +7 bonus. Here we have a +8 bonus for rescuing, and so already we have our driver here moving 12 inch, so over here as a support for the next wave. And yeah, I would say that's it. Another support token, and it's time to roll the dice. So we have -3, +7, so it's a +4 bonus. 7, nothing happens. Here we have another +4 bonus, 6, that's good. Patient becomes yellow. And here we have a -1, +4, so it's a +3, but it's a 1, also becomes critical and turns to level yellow. Then we have the rescuing -1 +8, so that's a +7. Freed. Perfect. And another untreated marker. So I think we have quite some critical patients, and that's why I would call in another ambulance. And yeah, again, we'll start over here. So the first thing I will do is now remove all the firefighters here. Back to the vehicles. So we have more space to work here. This one will check that patient. We are at 6 critical markers at yellow. So that's a -2. 5, it's okay for the first one. The second one, it's 4, it's fine. Next one is a 3, still fine. We have a 2, so it's getting lower and lower, that's not that good. Yeah, we have our first critical marker. Now we're at -3, 7, it's fine. And the last one, 5 -3, it's 2, so that's still fine. Let's call in our ambulance and maybe park over here. And this one can get out there. And yeah, now it's again, how do we, or which patients do we treat first? I would probably say this one only has 1 critical marker, can get green, so we can get them into the transport vehicle as soon as possible. So let's probably do that. Moving over here, loading the patient, and then moving 6 inch back here with the patient. And I would say these 3 still help there. Here it stays the same. It stays the same. This critical marker belongs to that one. That's it already. Maybe we could shift the doctor over there. But we don't. We still need the doctor over there. Maybe let's move that one over here. And that's it basically. We'll get in here and that truck will just drive away. So we have more space here. And now it's time to roll again. Here we are at our +7 -2 bonus. So it's a +5 bonus. The 6 turns this patient into a green one, which is very important because we can only transport green one in those vehicles, in the transport vehicles. Next patient here is a -3, +7, so it's a +4. 8 stays the same. Here we're at -2, we have a +4, so it's a +2. 5 stays the same. And here we're at red, we have a 3, 4, 5 bonus, so it's a +2. It's great, turns yellow. Right, we receive another support token, but I don't think we really need them at the moment and can just continue. First firefighters drive completely out of battlefield. These ones drive over here. It should be around 24 inch. It's fine. This one gets out and takes a stretcher. And let me just look at something in the rules. No. Yeah, we just move 12" over here. And we could now even load the patient on the stretcher. Over here, we move into the transport ambulance that patient, and we take another inside, one critical marker, and we drive the first 12". Because we still have one action left. Place it over there. And then the other personnel we have will continue helping here. So that's the red one. We should have the full bonus of +8 here. And this one just moves over there. So we have a +6 bonus here. We have a +6 bonus over here. And a +8 bonus over there. So that's fine. Yeah, let's roll again for the one in the back. That's a -1 with a +2 bonus, so it's a +1. Nothing happens. So this one is a -3 with a +8, so it's a +5 bonus. It's another one. This patient turns red and is very critical now. This means we should try to get the patient out as fast as possible. Here we're at -2 with a +6 bonus, so it's a +4. It's nice. No. That can't happen because we are at 2 critical markers. We cannot become yellow again. Here another +6 bonus with a -2, so it's a +4. This one can become green again. That's nice. So, receive another support token, but as I said, I don't think we need it. Let's start back there. Firefighters move off the board. See how far this ambulance can drive. Over here. So we need one roll. For these, I would also propose that we get them in the ambulance. So move 6" to the ambulance. Get the patient inside. Get another one inside. And do one move action. So we can move over here. And I would suggest that this one runs over here and gets in, so we can drive a bit closer and don't need to move the patients that much anymore. All right, this one starts helping here. Yeah. And this one moves over to this ambulance and takes out the stretcher and moves over here, this patient. And because now we're too much, this one moves over here and we load the patient onto. And those are 2 actions, and that's it. So it's time to roll again. Let's start at the back. So it's a +1 bonus, 7. Okay, that's fine. Here for this one, we have a +3 -1, so it's a +2 bonus. It's 4, that's fine. Here we have our -4 patient with a +8 bonus, so it's a +4, 5, which is great. Turns into red again. And here we're at -2, but have a +7, so it's a +5. And we cannot become green. So that's it for this round. And all right, next round. The ambulances leave the battlefield. And we have our rescued patients, one with 1 critical marker and 1 normal one. I usually just place them somewhere so we can in the end do a rating. Yeah, I think we're already in one of the last rounds, So we do one move action here, taking the stretcher out and moving over here, loading the patient. And now at a full +8 bonus here, which isn't really necessary. Here we already have loaded the patient inside on the stretcher, so we can move inside the ambulance. We'll take an emergency doctor and this one as a driver, and we will drive the first 12-inch part. But we need to keep our 3 critical markers here. And these, we don't really need them. So again, my video broke down. I don't know why, but not too much happened. I just moved the remaining people to all the vehicles, and that's it. Let's roll again. So we have our -3 patient over there. We have a +5 bonus, that's a +2 bonus. 5 stays stable. We have a -2 here, again with a +5 bonus, that's a +3. Would become better, but you know, 2 critical markers can become green again. And we don't really reach the end of the battlefield here, and we don't reach it over there. So it's 1 extra round of rolling, and then we're done with this game. And I'll just ignore the other vehicles now, because they will just drive off in the next 1, 2, 3 rounds. I don't care. Don't really need them. And this one's the driver here. Yeah. So 1 last round of rolling over there. We're at -3 +5, so it's a +2 bonus. That's a 9. So yellow. And here we are at a +3 bonus in total, 5 stable. That's it. Everyone moves off the board. So here we have our patient with 2 critical markers. Here we have one with 3. And yeah, that's our end result now. And let's look at the victory conditions. What are the victory conditions? For gold, no patient is at the red or black danger level. We have it to yellow, to green. No responder became a patient. We didn't have a fire spreading here, reaching our responders, so that's fine. No one is dead, it's also good. And nothing burned out completely, so reached black, so black fire level. So that's also fine. So we reached gold for this mission. Yeah, we have some critical patients here with 3 critical markers, but they're at the yellow level, so they are not that dangerously injured. Yeah, and that was emergency ops. Rescue ops, sorry. Rescue ops, the tabletop war game for rescuing people, extinguishing fire, and so on. I hope you liked it. This is the base game with like 3 basic types of threats: patients, fires, or trapped ones. For our expansions that will come, that I'm currently working on, there will be many more really cool add-ons. So I'm thinking about stuff like a medical support truck that can build up a tent where you can have like 4 or 8 patients inside, treating all at the same time and really stabilizing them. Thinking about hazmat, so we have a industry emergency where some dangerous fluids or poisonous stuff is leaking and we need to remove that. We have patients that need to be decontaminated. Maybe stuff like water, patients in the water that need to be rescued from there. Other models like rescue helicopters, which is, as you see here, we have like 3 rounds to leave the battlefield, and with the rescue helicopter, that's now a really better choice in such a scenario, but will of course cost more points. And then we can even think further. Police, dangerous people, like, yeah, very aggressive football fans, for example, that need to be de-escalated by police forces because otherwise they will turn everyone around into patients, and we need to de-escalate that before we can even start treating any patient. Yeah, I think there are many options here. We can do many really cool things. I hope you liked this video. I really like this game. I think the basic mechanic is really easy. Just sum the value of all the responders, +2, and roll 1 single die, and that's it. And I try to keep this mechanic for everything, so also for the additions, to keep it the same. Yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.